The human brain is just this incredible, complex machine, right? Billions of neurons all firing away. But the whole world of artificial intelligence, it actually starts with something way, way simpler. Just one single digital neuron. So how do we get from that tiny little building block to a machine that can actually learn and think? Well, that's what we're going to break down.
All right, here's our game plan. We're going to start with that basic building block, the digital neuron. Then we're going to see why it has a pretty major flaw, a problem it just can't solve on its own. After that, we'll see how stacking these neurons together in layers is the big breakthrough. We'll even walk through an example to see how it all works. And finally, we'll zoom out and talk about what these powerful and sometimes kind of mysterious digital brains really are. So, first things first, the digital neuron. I mean, if you want to build an artificial brain, where do you look for inspiration? You look at the real thing, right? The early pioneers of AI looked at nature's design and tried to copy the most fundamental part of our own nervous system.
And the comparison is actually pretty cool and surprisingly simple. In a biological neuron, you have dendrites that receive signals. In AI, those are just your inputs, basically numbers. Then you have the cell body that processes everything. Well, the digital version is just a node that does a bit of math. And finally, a biological axon sends a signal out. Our digital neuron, it just spits out a final number. It's a really neat stripped-down version of a super complex biological process. This very first version of an artificial neuron was called a perceptron, and it's got a simple three-step job. First, it just takes in some data. Step 2, it calculates what's called a weighted sum. Now, you can think of this like some inputs are more important than others, right? So we give those inputs a bigger weight. And then third, it uses what's called an activation function. It's really just a simple rule. If the total sum is above a certain number, it fires yes. If not, it fires no. That's it. It's basically a tiny little decision maker. So we have our perceptron, this simple little decision maker. And for a while, people thought this is it. This is the breakthrough. But it turns out our little hero had a fatal flaw. A really big one, actually. See, it could solve certain kinds of problems, but it completely failed on others. And this led to a massive question that nearly stopped AI research in its tracks. What is the limit here? What is it that this simple model just can't do? And the answer is all about lines. A perceptron can only solve problems where you can separate the answers with a single straight line. Imagine you have a bunch of red dots and blue dots on a page. If you can take a ruler and draw one straight line to split them up, a perceptron is your guy. But think about most real-world problems. Identifying a cat in a picture, figuring out if an email is spam. Life is messy. You can't just draw one neat line to solve those. So here's the big realization. One neuron is not enough. And the solution wasn't to build a more complicated neuron. Nope. The solution was to build a better brain by connecting lots of simple neurons together. And that's where the concept of layers comes into play. This visual really shows the whole evolution. Over on the left, that's the basic perceptron. Input comes in, one layer thinks about it, and you get an output. Simple. But on the right, that's the revolution. We've stuck some new layers called hidden layers in between the input and the output. And that changes everything. So what exactly are these hidden layers? Well, you can think of them as teams of specialists. They're not the ones talking to the outside world. That's the input and output layers. They're in the middle, doing all the computational heavy lifting. They find little patterns, create new features, and transform the data in complex ways so that the final layer has a much easier job. They're the reason networks can learn things that are way more complicated than just a straight line. Okay, this is all great in theory, but let's make it real. Let's walk through a super simple spam filter to see exactly how these hidden layers transform a basic line drawer into something much, much smarter. So here's our problem. Is this email spam? We're going to keep it simple and just look for 3 keywords: free, win, and offer. If the word is in the email, we'll use a 1. If it's not, a 0. So let's say our email contains free and offer, but not win. Our input data or our vector is 1, 0, 1. Simple enough. Okay, now that input 101 gets sent to our hidden layer, which has 2 neurons. We'll call them H1 and H2. Now here's the cool part. Both neurons get the exact same input, but they have different priorities. They have their own unique weights. So H1 might think free is a huge red flag and gives it a big positive weight, ending up with a score of 0.8. Meanwhile, H2 might be suspicious of offer, giving it a negative weight, and its calculation comes out to negative 0.1. So from the exact same information, they form two totally different initial opinions. But before they pass that opinion along, each neuron runs its number through an activation function. Now, this is the secret sauce. This little mathematical step introduces something called non-linearity, and all that really means is it gives the network flexibility. It's what allows the network to combine all the simple straight lines from each neuron into a complex, curvy, sophisticated decision boundary. This is the trick that lets the network solve problems a single neuron could only dream of. So finally, the output neuron acts like a manager. It takes the signals from H1 and H2, considers their different opinions, and combines them into one final score. In this case, it's 0.636. And since our rule is anything over 0.5 is spam, the network makes its final call. Spam. That nuance, that ability to weigh conflicting evidence, that's all thanks to the hidden layer. All right, let's zoom back out. We've gone all the way from one tiny neuron to a network that can actually solve a real-world problem. So what's the big takeaway here? What's the main idea? If you walk away with anything, remember these three things. 1. A single neuron is just a simple little machine that can only draw straight lines. 2. The real magic happens when you stack these neurons into layers. Those hidden layers are what let the network tackle complex, messy problems. And 3. The secret ingredient, the key that unlocks all of that power, is the nonlinear activation function. And this all leads us to a final, really important question. I mean, our spam filter was pretty simple. But modern neural networks, they can have billions of these connections across hundreds of layers. They're unbelievably powerful, but their decision-making process becomes so complex that sometimes even the people who built them don't know exactly how they reached a certain conclusion. They become what we call a black box. And that leaves us with a huge challenge as this tech becomes a bigger part of our world. How much trust should we put in a decision that we can't fully explain?